Objectively speaking, Gear 4 Luffy is a monster when it comes to dealing damage, but subjectively speaking now, there is a few things I do not like about this character, because this game isn't just about defeating your opponents, especially when it comes to league battles. It's about strategizing, and just having damaging traits don't really help a character alone. They have to have other traits that help balance them to make them a good overall character. And with that being said, let's move on into the character analysis. So Gear 4 Luffy's max HP is 6,621, max attack is 1,668, and max defense is 1,509. His attack stat is very high. He's an attacker, so you do want that. And his defense stat, perfectly where you want it to be, 1,500 at least. Then let's move on to his skills. His first skill is called Gum Gum Leo Bazooka, and it's a mid-range area attack with a knockback effect and nullifies stagger for a set period of time, and acquires speed debuff effect at level 5. These moves are very good, especially with a knockback effect and a nullifies stagger. Perfect, just what you want. So he's good for assisting runners or anyone that's capturing the treasure. And his second skill is called Gum Gum King Kong Gun, and it's a mid-range area attack with a chance to inflict tremor and nullify stagger for a set period of time. So just like a few other characters in this game, tremor is very good because it does make the enemy pause for a few seconds, and this lasts for 5 seconds at max level 5. Let's go into his character traits now. So he nullifies shocked, that means Eneru or NL in the dub, whichever you want to call him. His skills won't really paralyze Luffy at all, and he also nullify entrance, meaning Boa Hancock skills won't really affect him when it comes to the petrification. And when receiving damage, 5% chance to boost defense by 20%, and this lasts for 10 seconds. This is very good. And let's start with his trait 1. When in the area around your enemy's treasure, increase damage dealt by 30%, and when using skill 2, boost attack by 30%, and this lasts for 10 seconds. These are very good trait 1s to have for a 4-star character, and trait 2 at 5 stars and above. When your allies are not near the treasure area where you are at, increase damage dealt by 20%, and when your strength is more than 80%, resist staggering effect. So that means he won't be faltering once his HP is 80% or more. When this Luffy is in your enemy's treasure area by himself, can have a max attack buff of 80%. So in order to get the best out of this 80%, the best thing to do would be to use the skill 2 and then use the skill 1, so you can definitely one-shot your opponents, even if they are an element that is advantageous against you. This is considering that this Luffy will be at max level or at a high enough level where he can do a good amount of damage. Alright, and as I was saying earlier, the things I don't like about this Luffy is, first off, his attack speed. Playing as him, it feels so stiff. He doesn't feel as a character that is smooth when it comes to using his normal attacks, like a bit of a delay once he starts using them. And to be honest, I would think this Luffy was going to be a better overall character than Doflamingo, because in the anime he was just destroying Doflamingo in terms of speed and strength. So I thought they was going to give him a speed boost once they was going to release Gear 4 Luffy. It would have been great if he had a 20% speed boost. If he had something like this, I would have definitely considered this character to be the best in the game, bro. But since he only have traits that help buffs his attack stat, he's just a okay character when it comes to overall balance. Alright, let's move into some gameplay so you can see what he plays like. So I feel like I've been too critical on this Gear 4 Luffy because he is a very solid character. The only thing I just don't like about him, as I said before, is just his normal attacks. I feel like they're just a bit clunky. Alright, let's move on to rating him. In his overall stats, I give him a 1 out of 1. His skills also a 1 out of 1. Definitely deserving because they're very good. His traits, because they only give him an attack buff, I'll give him a 0.8 because an attack buff and all is great, but what else he got for that kit? And he also do get a defense buff, so I'm saying that's pretty good. Alright, when it comes to his normal attack speed, it's relatively a little bit on the slower side, get a 0.9. Then his normal attack combos also get a 0.9 as well. I don't really mess with them. This character is a 4.6 out of 5, making him very good for modes where you have him fighting a lot of enemies. But when it comes to league battles, he's really good at defeating enemies, but sometimes you don't want to defeat your enemies. You want to lower them, because most of the time when you do defeat them, it's harder to capture the treasure that's closest to their respawn area.
Well,